tropical forests of Australia are home to some of the world's most bizarre yet fascinating animals. But it is the koala, which is instantly recognised by its spoon-shaped nose, fluffy ears and reposed behaviour, that has long been our proud nation's icon. Because the koala uniquely belongs to Australia, it serves as a valuable attraction for tourists and is often sought after by zoos from overseas. So why? If the koala is so special, is it on the road to extinction? But firstly, we must understand what a koala is and where it lives. Although globally known, the koala is perceived and described differently by different people. In the simplest description, it would be described as a medium-sized mammal belonging to the order Marsupialia. A marsupial is a mammal with one distinct characteristic of the females giving birth to tiny, hairless and blind young that are still in their embryonic stages, which grow and develop in their mother's pouch. The koala was once a largely distributed mammal, ranging across the majority of the eastern states of Australia. On this map, the hatched areas show the likely distribution of koalas 224 years ago, whereas the dotted areas show the much fragmented distributions within the last 10 years.
Hi, I'd like to introduce Crystal from Featherdale Wildlife Park. Hi Crystal.
Hi, how are you?
Who do we have here?
This is Rose. She's about 3 years old.
So do you transfer koalas to zoos around Australia?
Yeah, we do. The main reason we do it is for breeding. We send them on breeding loans. That just so we don't keep the same bloodline in Featherdale with the koalas. We send them to other parks so they can get new bloodlines so there's no inbreeding.
So what are the distinct features of koalas?
Right, so with koalas, they've got on their hands, they've got the 2 thumbs and the 3 fingers. That just gives them extra grip on the tree. On their foot, they've got the 2 claws on their one toe. That's for grooming, so that's getting rid of all the old excess fur. Right, so also they've got the eyes. They've got really small slits in their eyes, just like cats pretty much. They don't really have very good vision. They don't really need it, as their nose is their main sense. They need their nose to smell out all the toxicity in the leaves.
So Crystal, are the koalas a popular attraction at Featherdale Wildlife Park?
Yes, I think they are the main attraction at Featherdale. As we get so many tourists coming in from all over the world, pretty much, they come to see the main icon of koala.
So what type of eucalypt do the koalas eat and how much?
Roughly about up to 1 kilo a day. The main types they eat is red gum, blue gum, tallowood, box gum, Tasmanian blue gum.
So are the koalas at Featherdale Wildlife Park, are they bred to release?
No, because once an animal is in captivity, if it's bred in captivity, you can't release them into the wild. They just won't survive. So these guys get fresh tips every day, so they eat the real fresh tips of the leaves. They won't survive because in the wild they don't always get fresh leaves. So they'll have to eat the bigger leaves, which they aren't really used to. Because here we give them fresh leaves every day. We give them 1 starve day to kind of make them feel like they're in the wild, but yeah, so these guys won't survive, and there's many more threats in the wild, like cats and dogs and car accidents and things like that. Alright, so this is Bella. She's about 3 years old. Just give you some general knowledge about koalas. Koalas can live up to about 8 to 10 years in the wild and about 12 to 15 years in captivity. These guys eat eucalyptus. Their main varieties they eat is red gum, tallowood.
For many decades, the decrease in the populations of koalas around Australia was debated to whom or what is responsible. The largest threat to the koalas is habitat loss. However, the decline of koalas is not entirely caused by humans, as the decline is also a result of pressures that are caused by themselves and the depletion of resources. Diseases like chlamydia, which are contracted through inbreeding, also play a role in the decrease of koalas. Our failure to drive carefully and keep domesticated pets secure are also taking their tolls, as many koalas are killed by either being run over or our dogs and cats are killing them. Regardless of these threats, there are many people that continue to debate to whether we are enough of a threat to classify the koalas as vulnerable. Over 50% of the koalas population live on privately owned properties. This means that the koala's future is highly dependent on the actions of landowners. For landowners, the easiest way to help maintain these beautiful animals is to plant more eucalyptus trees onto their properties, or establish habitat corridors to larger forests. Like the koala from Australia, the giant panda is endemic to its native country, China. Once they lived in the lowland forest areas, but farming, forest clearing and other developments have now restricted the giant pandas to the higher mountain ranges in central provinces of Sichuan, Shaanxi and Gansu. Currently, there are only 1,200 pandas left in the wild, and the pandas in captivity have not bred enough to increase or even maintain its current populations. However, continued research and artificial insemination of giant pandas attempt to continually increase their numbers. The government are holding conservation education and public awareness activities. Corridors, forest links, and between the isolated populations are being constructed to help increase the range in which the panda lives in order to exchange genetic material between wild populations. Koalas are our national icon, and they bring in approximately $1 billion annually through tourism. So why not protect them? A minority of people are against protecting the koalas and placing them under the vulnerable status, as this provides koalas in their habitats additional protection from the many industrial companies that use the land for development or mining. Premier Campbell Newman had publicly expressed his anger by stating, because the koalas and their habitat are now under protection, it would cause further hardship for urban development to take place. But what right do we have to take away the koala's habitat anyway? After all, koalas are unique to Australia and are found nowhere else in the world. And like the giant panda, which is endemic to China, once they are gone from their natural habitats, they are gone forever.